There you go. Look at that.
So I see you. Can you see me?
I can see you. I can see you
Oh
loud
my
and clear.
goodness.
Yeah, I can see you loud, nice and clear.
How's this?
There you go. You look good right there. There you go. Good light.
Oh, shucks. Yes,
you look at you.
Yeah.
Mr. Salter, Bill Salter, thank you for joining me. Yeah.
My God.
You've written a lot of amazing pieces that have been important for our culture. And thank you for that. And today, you know, we wanted to have a conversation with you to talk about one of your collaborators who, you know, recently unfortunately passed,
Yes.
Bill Withers.
Right.
And you know, y'all put together the song Just the Two of Us. So what was the inspiration behind that song?
Okay, I'll tell you, try to be as brief as I can. My other partner, Ralph McDonald, came in from Trinidad and Tobago.
Uh-huh.
And there was an advertisement on that airline, BWIA, whatever, and about Just the Two of Us, which was Trinidad and Tobago. So he came to me with that title.
Interesting.
Which is what he was very good at doing, because he also came to me with the title of Just the Two of Us.
Wow.
Just the Two of Us and Where is the Love?
Uh-huh, that's right.
Okay, so when he gave me that title, so I put together the song idea, the chorus and all that kind of, or the hook, so to speak.
Right.
And by the time Bill Withers came along, the song had already been written.
Oh, wow.
But he changed some of the words. He didn't change the chorus because that could not be messed with. You couldn't. He wasn't going to touch that. That's probably what turned him on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know how that goes, right?
That was the point of view.
Wow.
So he took it and he put some other words around it like that and elaborated on the storyline, and
wow.
That's what made it his.
Wow.
And that's what made it ours.
Wow, thank you. That's amazing to hear. Wow, that's news. That's great. What prompted his involvement? What got him into the project?
Well, we were in the process of, Ralph and I were in the process of recording Grover Washington Jr., the saxophonist.
Yes.
And so we were doing an album on him, and but we wanted to put a song on there, you know, real song, because that's what lifts us into, you know, what we're all about.
Yes,
especially
indeed.
as far as what I'm all about, because I'm really the songwriter. Bill Withers happened to stumble through the stumble. He just happened to move through the office prior going into the studio, and it might have been a couple of weeks before we actually went into progress. Or we might have already been in progress, and but we hadn't done that song yet. And Bill came when he came, he heard it, and he got it. He was excited, and he asked if he could do something. You know, could he add a little something? And he did that. Came back and did his thing, and the rest is history.
Oh man, and the history is real, right? I mean, y'all got
that right.
You know what I'm saying? That thing got nominated for a Grammy. You know what I mean? That thing went on for real. It's still in our culture, right? It got sampled. It had all types of things happen with that song. And it was nominated for a Grammy. Did you, when it got nominated, did you think it had a good chance of winning?
Well, you know, as a musician and a composer, because I've been writing, I started out as a musician way back in time.
Yes.
But I was very fortunate to have hooked up with Miriam Makeba back in the early 60s. I could see every move she made, and she was very literate about the way she sang in her language, the various languages she sang in, including English, of course. And that was a total world to me. And of course, a lot of the traveling and eventually going to Africa and Europe and all of those places.
Oh yeah.
And that's how I came up. Then I started to get serious about writing songs.
Right.
And I wrote a song called "When I Passed On" that she sang, and years later she sang it at the Vatican. She opened me up to the world and to music, and because she could sing anything.
You were due for this Grammy. This was the thing that you felt like you were like, you know what, we have a chance of winning this thing. I've worked with Miriam Makeba. I've worked with Harry Belafonte. I've been working with Grover Washington Jr. I'm due.
Well, it's a truly learning experience for me, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the journey.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit more about this night when you and Mr. Withers were up for this Grammy. You know, what other songs were you up against? What was the night like? What was that experience at the Grammys that night?
You know, I don't remember a lot about that because I remember going from the hotel and they said Salter's kind of starting to go to the theater.
Right.
And so I went to the theater and there was so many people that James Brown and so many. I mean, I was just so enthralled by all of this. What am I doing in this madness? Or what am I doing in this amazement, I should say.
Y'all also performed that night. You performed just the two of us live on stage the night that you were nominated and ultimately won. So what was that like?
It was a surprise to me in a sense because I mean, there was something said about, you know, you guys will go on stage and you probably do the song or something like that. But it didn't occur to me that, okay, I am a guitar and stuff like that. But I really wasn't mentally prepared to do that. However, all of a sudden the curtain went up and here it was.
Yeah.
So lights, camera, action. And that's what it was. So I just did what I normally do when I'm in my office or in my home space. You know, I just play the guitar and I create or I represent musically what it is the song is supposed to, the concept of the song. Yeah. So I just did that.
Yeah.
And that's what worked.
Yeah, and I mean, you've had amazing performance experience. You've traveled all over the world. You've worked with and written for and performed with some of the greatest, the greatest talents in history. You've worked with a lot of folks who, unfortunately transitioned. Some are still with us. Bill Withers recently transitioned. What, if anything, do you remember most about Brother Bill Withers?
Well, one of the several things about Bill Withers, I guess a very high moral, humanitarian moral values in his being. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like "Lean on Me."
Yeah.
That song is so memorable and so real because that's the way I feel about life. You know, lean on me, and people do have leaned on me. And I've taken the weight, but I've also enjoyed the journey, and I freely give of myself as best I can, and that sharing and that giving is to me what really life is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And I recently saw a caption that I don't want to get into now, but it really basically has to do with each one. Not only does each one teach one, but also sharing with what life is about. So that's what he's about was also what I was about. Another reason why perhaps he had problems with the industry, but it's not the industry, it's the people in the industry who want to, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. No, it's not yours, it's mine, but it's ours, okay? Let's share it. That's where I've come from.
Yeah. Listen, that energy is necessary right now, right? I mean, the world has changed. Who knew we would be on a Zoom conversation,
there you go.
having a conversation. And what you're talking about is so necessary, especially for us musicians who give so much light to the world, right? We give so much light. In this time of quarantine, so many people are engaging with music differently now. They're listening to more music. They're watching more videos. They're watching more movies which have music in them. What you're saying is important for a musician to have that type of character. And I've witnessed you to be a person who has that type of character as well, who has that light, who is still writing. You're still composing. You're still gigging. You know what I'm saying? You are an inspiration. And now this 40 years later, after all of these legends you perform with, after becoming a legend yourself, after becoming a multi-Grammy award-winning musician, songwriter, composer, you have a new song. You have a new song that you've written, and it's entitled "Together Together."
Yes.
Tell me about what was the inspiration for this song? Tell me about the
Well,
song.
I've had to deal with cancer and a few other physical ailments over the last 10, 15 years.
Mm.
And so you're bouncing from one thing to another. And I found myself homebound a lot because of the conditions of, and after my partner, Ralph, passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
And he was the businessman, and he made things. He took care of movement.
Mm-hmm.
I took care of the artistic part,
Yeah.
And so when he left, then I continued to do what I did. But then it was about, how do I represent myself? How do I get out here and do something? And that was always a problem for me. So, but then when age and physical situations set in, I said, well, let me, that's going to be problematic along the way. But don't stop writing and don't stop trying to play.
Yeah.
So that's basically where I'm still, that's still part of my ongoing journey. One of the ideas that came along with a few other ideas of songs that have not yet come out yet, but they were stuff I was going to put together as an album for myself. Queen Estamaro came along, and I've known her since we were back in our late 20s. She came to me and asked me, Bill, I want you to write me a song. So I already had this song, the framework made, put together, and it was already together. But I made a couple of changes in it, and when she heard it, she said, yeah. So she grabbed it and took it away, because she lives out in Newport News, Virginia.
Okay.
And the next thing I knew, she came back with, oh, Lord have mercy. So then I had to go down there and get in the video.
Yeah.
Play somebody else's bass. It looked like I was part of the whole show.
Right.
But that's the way we do things. The idea of the story was, again, about together. And that's the world concept of people should just let love be. But people like to use people because they don't know any better, or that's what maybe their purpose is. I don't know. I didn't make the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had nothing to do with you and anybody else, other than the fact that we're together now. We're talking about these possibilities,
right.
and the choices that we make.
Very important message, and you've had a storied career of important messages. You've left a storied legacy. Again, as a musician who's kind of walking in the pathway that you've left, I say thank you. But I also want to know what's next. You're still moving, so I want to know. You have this song that's out. What else is next for Bill Salter?
Well, again, for where I am now, I still have a good dozen songs that are basically ready to get out there. I never rose to the level of financial of having the kind of financial stuff, monies and stuff to produce myself per se. So it's about getting some backing and stuff like that. And then and the other part of it has to do with being out into the moving through the industry. And that's becoming something that I'm less and less directly involved with.
Right.
However, this medium that we're dealing with now can make all the difference in the world, if you will.
Yes, it can. It sure can.
I appreciate you guys for letting me have this opportunity.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
don't know if you haven't met Jamal, have you?
We talked a little earlier when he was setting you up.
I just want to show his face real quick.
Yeah. Let me see.
Come on, man. Come on in here.
Jump on in there. Salute, brother. What's going on, man? Thank you so much.
Anytime, man. Supporting this big man right here.
Absolutely.
That's the DJ.
Yeah.
I took him from a kid through the studios all the way up the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's got it going on.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Blessings to you, your entire family.
Thank you, sir.
Again, thank you for what you've given to us, to our culture. Thank you for joining us today to talk about your own legacy and also the legacy of Bill Withers. And again, we really appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
God bless you.
You too. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you to Bill Salter. Amazing person, amazing musician and songwriter and composer. My name is JP Reynolds. This has been a quarantine version of American Legacy Network. Be sure to subscribe for all the classic Black films, documentaries, all the things. Subscribe. Peace and power to you and your families. We'll see y'all after this thing is over. All right?